Hello everybody. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while now, and it's my favorite topic. Probably is my favorite topic, and it's intermittent fasting. And I know a lot of you have heard of intermittent fasting and you understand it, or you've heard me speak to you about it before. I've taught you about intermittent fasting, or it's in the HETA guide. But this video is still going to be very, very valuable. There are so many benefits to intermittent fasting, and I don't need to tell you because at this stage, it's been in the media so much and people talk about it so much, and of course, I talk about it so much that people are well aware that not eating for a while or fasting is going to be beneficial to your health, and it is. And the reason that we do fast, of course, is for health purposes. We don't focus on fasting for weight loss, although it can help with weight loss. It's not amazing for weight loss because there's a lot of other factors that play in there on if you're exercising, if you're sleeping, do you have stress, and blah, blah, blah. But we use it for the health aspect. That's why we fast, and it's so important to fast, and I can't stress this enough. And I feel especially for women, fasting is important for women because without structure in your day, without a plan or a schedule, your day turns into a shit show, really. And you don't know when to eat, you don't know what to eat, you eat when you get a minute, you eat on the go. It's just crazy. So when we integrate fasting into a lifestyle or into someone's life, we give them structure, we give them routine, and it's as simple as that because now they know when they're to eat and when they're to stop eating. And that's just simple in itself. And then we look at the health benefits of why do we fast. So the main reasons why we fast, and the studies are there, there's millions and millions and millions, and when I say millions, you know I mean hundreds of studies that show how beneficial health is at protecting neurons, at building new cells, at cleaning out cancer cells, at regenerating damaged tissue, at resensitizing to hormones, at turning over the gut health and liver health and growing new hair, everything. So fasting is pretty awesome with that. We focus on it for removing inflammation, so bringing down inflammation, improving the gut health or gut integrity. Of course, I use it to optimize your brain health, but most of the time, my main priority with fasting is for rebalancing hormones, specifically the insulin hormone, because that one is probably the biggest factor in health issues nowadays. Whether or not you have cancer, or you have osteoporosis, or you have PCOS, or you have endometriosis, or you have another metabolic disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, it usually, if we take a step back, it derives from that insulin resistance and the ripple effect that the insulin causes. So insulin drives up inflammation. Insulin contributes to fat cells, which produce excess estrogen, which slow down other hormones and allow estrogen to take over, which increases cortisol, which slows down thyroid production, and the circle goes on. So we focus on fasting straight off the bat to resensitize your body to insulin. And this is so important. So I'm going to go through this again. So this is how it works. When you have sugar, sugar comes in, insulin is released from the pancreas. So your insulin little guy, he grabs onto the glucose little guy, and they're holding hands and they're all super cute. And then they knock on a cell door. So let's just say a muscle cell, because a muscle cell is a cool place to be. And in the muscle cell, we have our mitochondria, and our mitochondria are our powerhouses for burning energy. Okay, so here's our little guys. Can you see them? So we've got glucose and insulin, and they're happy now. They're holding hands. So insulin brings glucose up to the muscle cell. Muscle cell club, it's a cool place to be. That's where all the cool kids hang out. So insulin knocks on the door of the cell, and the bouncer answers, and he says yes. And insulin says, can glucose go in and party with you guys and be used for ATP, for energy in the mitochondria? And the bouncer says yes. Come on in, let's have a ball. And there you go. Insulin's gone, or glucose has gone into the cell. Insulin then gets recycled. So then if you constantly have sugar dripping in all the time, you constantly have your insulin grabbing the glucose, and he's constantly knocking on the cell or the nightclub door, non-stop, all day, all night, just knocking. And the bouncer's on the other side of the door, and he's saying, just ignore them. They'll go away. If we just ignore them, they'll go away. So he's reluctant, or he's resistant to opening the cell door and allow glucose in, because he's constantly hearing that knock all the time. So then insulin's like, sorry pal, I can't help you out here. Leaves glucose there in the bloodstream to float around and be converted into triglycerides, which are fat cells, contribute to fatty liver, clogged up arteries, or plaque in the arteries, or even plaque in the brain, contributes to inflammation, and you get the story. So that's how insulin works and insulin resistance happens. So then we understand that every food on the planet causes some sort of insulin spike, except the foods that I have told you about in a clean fast. What is a clean fast? They don't. So your black tea, green tea, peppermint tea, apple cider vinegar, water, sparkling water, they don't cause an insulin spike. Lemon and lime juice don't either, because they're more bitter than sweet. And the debate is out, okay? I'm well aware the debate is out that all the different doctors will say, well, this will break a fast and this will break a fast, and sunshine will break a fast. So Dr. Panda says light will break a fast. So there's all these different things. But we're looking in a general health first aspect on why we want to fast and what we're expecting from fasting. A clean fast is everything that I just listed there. So that's what you're doing when you're fasting. You can have those because none of those elicit an insulin response. Now, all foods, like I said, cause an insulin response, some higher, some lower. So you have then the likes of stuff that you were told were good for you and that you should eat in the morning. You have oatmeal and banana. Muffin. That's a good one, isn't it? Like whole grain muffin with raisins and crap like that. Okay, so up here, this is our graph. You have oats, banana, muffin. They cause a huge insulin spike, like huge insulin spike. Down here we have avocado, olive oil, macadamia, cream cheese, coconut oil. Your fatty stuff, they do cause an insulin spike, but it's smaller. So it's a smaller insulin spike. Regardless, they all cause an insulin spike. So we want to resensitize your cells. We want to resensitize that bouncer to insulin. We want our bouncer saying, hey, where is insulin? I haven't seen him in ages. I wonder where he is. I'm starting to miss that guy. We want our cells saying that. We want them missing insulin so they can resensitize to it. So resensitize is to miss it so that when it turns up, we can use it extra well. So in order to have our bouncer miss insulin, we must have insulin take a holiday. Go take a little vacation for a while. So insulin's cool with that. He gets a break. The liver gets a break, the pancreas gets a break, they get to regenerate and turn over and build new cells. Now, how do we get insulin to take a break? We have no food. We have no food at all. If we have no food, there will be no insulin response to that. So, what's another name for having no food? It's fasting. So we fast. So when we fast, we take out insulin. We resensitize ourselves to insulin. The bouncer's saying, hey, where's insulin? I miss that guy. When we take out insulin, we also allow all these other processes and reactions to happen. So insulin, we then start to bring down cortisol and inflammation. The body starts to cool down and it starts to relax, because when you've taken insulin out and you've taken food out, the body can then say, hey, I've nothing else to do but repair myself, because we know, and biology states, that when we ingest food, all other processes in the body get turned off, and your body's main focus is to break down that food and use it for energy or to remove toxins or poisons as waste products. And that's your body's main priority. So when during the day, when you're eating, you're in storage mode or you're in saving mode. When you go asleep at night, you're in using mode. You've used up everything you've stored through the day. And this will make sense in a minute. So we then are repairing our body. We're taking down the insulin. We're resensitizing ourselves. We're letting our body turn over our guts, because there's no food in there. So now you don't have to digest anything. You can just fix the cells and sew up any of the holes. Fix hair cells, rebuild muscle, rebuild bone cells. Clear out toxins from the brain, because we know that Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and all cognitive decline is associated with damaged cells and inflammation of the brain. So when we fast, usually when we're asleep, we know when we sleep, our brain shrinks by 60%. Now, we're taking down the inflammation, because there's no insulin there, and insulin's the main driving factor behind inflammation. That allows our little guy's friend, so our little insulin's friend, he's got a friend, and he comes in with his little sweeper van, and he cleans around all your brain cells, and he sweeps up all the crap and the buildup from that day and the toxins, and he gets rid of them so that you've got a clean brain and you can regenerate new cells, because your body is then able to function properly. It doesn't have toxins holding it back or holding it down. At that stage, then, you've also, because you're in your sleep and you're fasting, you've also switched over into fat burning at that stage, because you've no insulin, you've no sugar, you've digested your dinner, you've used up pretty much all of your energy, so you have to switch over fuels. Your body needs a fuel, because if it has no fuel, you will die. Your heart constantly needs fuel, your brain constantly needs fuel. So what did they do, and what has fasting been shown to help improve? Use of triglycerides, or fat in the blood. So you have this little enzyme, and he's called lipase, and lipase does not work in the presence of insulin, because it gets silenced when insulin is around, because insulin tells the body, tells your PPAR receptors, there's sugar present, or there's glucose present. You can use sugar for fuel. You don't need to use fat. So lipase, you just stay over there until we're finished with all this sugar burning. So now you go over into fat burning mode. There's no sugar around, so lipase is like, yay, it's my turn now. So he's grabbing triglycerides, and he's grabbing the fat off your butt and your thighs, and he's driving that into the mitochondria to be used for energy, for the reparative processes, for building your tissues and new hormones, and like I said, hair and eyelashes and everything like that. So lipase is there, and he's just shuttling along, just a little bit all the time, just shuttling along. So we have insulin, we have lipase, and now, because we've taken away all food, we're bringing in another hormone called leptin. Leptin is your satiety hormone. Leptin comes from fat cells, but it also can get distributed from the pituitary gland, excuse me. Lipase is the hormone that tells you you're done, you're satisfied. So, I've said this analogy before because I do it so often on refeed day, where you're eating like a whole pizza, a whole large pizza to yourself, and you're like finished it. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna have some chocolate now and some wine, and then I'm gonna have more wine and maybe ice cream. And I'm like, I'm only small now. Where the hell is all this food going, and why am I not feeling satisfied? You don't stop eating until the food's up here, and you're like, that's it, I'm gonna throw up. It's because when insulin is present, lipase gets told, shh, you just be quiet because you're getting all these spikes of insulin. And the fat cells are like partying. They're like, oh my God, so much insulin, so much glucose, we're having a party. There's no room for lipase or leptin at all. So leptin, that's satiety hormone. But then, let's say you do a warrior fast the next day, Sunday. You resensitize the cells. Monday, you sit down to lunch or dinner and you have just a chicken salad with some oil and vinegar, herbs and seasoning. Maybe some wisps if you're going crazy. And you're good. Your body says, I'm good. I'm satisfied. That was a good meal. I'm done. That is like I'm not going to say 1/8. It's like 1/12 of what you ate for your dinner on the Saturday, but now you're good because you've resensitized the signaling. And it's not uncommon, and you'll all agree. You'll have either said it or you'll have heard some of my other clients or some of the Heta Guide members saying, I didn't finish my dinner, I just was full, or I didn't feel hungry, so I skipped lunch, or even I had a cookie and I didn't even enjoy it, because once you fast, not only do you become a food snob, you're like, well, I'm getting these amazing results. So if I am going to cheat, it's going to be something incredible. It's not going to be like a dollar store chocolate bar. I'm going to drive all the way to Cross Iron Mills and get some Purdy's. You're not going to drink cheap beer or cheap wine. You're like, well, if I'm only having wine once a week, damn, I'm going to get myself something nice. But as well, your taste buds turn over. So when you do have that cookie that you used to be not able to control yourself around, let's say an Oreo, you used to finish half the pack in 10 minutes before starting fasting, and now you have one cookie and you're like, that was good, I'm good. Or you say, oh, it wasn't as good as I remember, didn't really enjoy that, kind of wasted those 100 calories right there. So there's a lot happens when you fast, but the main thing is bringing down the inflammation. Now, one thing that's super important with fasting, and I don't talk about it too often because I'm well aware there's so much information that people just get bombarded and they're just like overwhelmed. They're like, what the hell is going on here? Should I do this? Should I do that? That is why you hire a health professional to tell you what to do. But so one of the main things that causes us to start like a health campaign or a weight loss campaign is usually how we look. We're like, oh, I'm looking a bit puffy, or I don't like my love handles, or my arms are shaking too much, or my joints are sore, I'm really not feeling good, and that all comes back to that inflammation again. But that is a lot to do with that subcutaneous fat. So the subcutaneous fat being the fat that I spoke about in this week's podcast called Love Handles and Estrogen Dominance. I don't want to go into it, so go back and listen to it. So subcutaneous fat is the stuff we can see, and that usually motivates us to just start, let's say, a weight loss campaign. Now the visceral fat is the fat that's associated with our health markers. That's the fat that's closer to our organs, and it's wrapped around our organs, our liver, fatty liver, and we get it around our heart and our arteries and kidneys, and you just have this big load of fat just sitting in your gut around your organs, but you can't touch it, you can't pull it like you can the subcutaneous fat. This fat is under your muscles, you can't even see it. So these men that get these big pot bellies, that's subcutaneous, or that's the visceral fat under the muscle pushing their bellies out. That is the most unhealthy type of fat. We want to get rid of that ASAP. So I had a client this week and her belly has gone down a lot, but it was only when I had her do a plank that I went, oh. So when she did a plank, so she has a belly, which we're working on. She did a plank, and I was like, I can see her muscles there, and there's not too much fat hanging. And then when she stood up, she still had this belly. And it was only because she got into a plank position in a tight top that I was able to see the lines. I was like, oh, your fat is under your muscles and it's pushing your belly and your muscles outwards. That tells us that you have a lot of visceral fat, and we need to work on that and get rid of that as fast as possible, because my mantra, health first. We're always focused on health first. So when someone starts a weight loss campaign and integrates fasting and super awesome nutrition, and they're really smart about what they do, some of the first things we see change are their upper belly. The upper belly goes down not because they're losing this fat that they can touch, because they're burning the visceral fat around the organs, because that fat is very, very active and easily used for energy. Like so easy, because it's so close to the organs, it's got a lot of blood flow, it got a lot of nerve activity, that we use that fat straight off the bat for energy. So we start to see people's bellies go down, and then we see inflammation come down as well. And then actually another marker of that visceral fat going down is you'll start to see collarbones and shape around the neck and the shoulders, as the fat that's under the muscles just all starts to drop away because you're burning it for energy. That is the fat that we want to get rid of first for health, and then we work on the rest of the fat over the next few months to kind of shape you up and give you the shape and physique that you want. So before I wrap up, this is why we want to implement fasting. In regards to physique, fasting can be very effective at repairing muscle and making someone leaner, provided they're following a proper nutritional protocol and they're training right. But fasting, we're bringing down the inflammation, removing brain fog, we're helping everything repair. You come back stronger. And as I say to my clients, I'm not here to fix you in a week of fasting. What we're here to do is every day you'll go to bed, you'll fast and you'll repair, and the next morning you're going to come back just a little bit more resilient, and the next day a little bit more resilient and stronger, more awesome, and the next day, and 3 months down the line you're a lot more resilient and you're a lot stronger and you're a lot more awesome just from not eating. Now, a few things to note. There are many studies out there that show in order for optimal mitochondrial health and to get optimal reparative action in the cells, one wants to stop eating 4 hours before going to bed. The main concept again, if you eat at 10 to 10 at night and you go to bed at 10, your body is straight in there digesting for 4 hours. You are not getting the detoxification processes, you're not getting the reparative. Your mitochondria are going to suffer. Damaged mitochondria is going to lead to metabolic disease. When your mitochondria are working awesome, you know what happens? Your skin glows, it's clear, you look warm and you look healthy. When your mitochondria are not working or they're damaged, you look pale, your skin's all pasty, you're fatigued, because your mitochondria are not working properly. So they're producing energy or they're not producing energy. Next, we know that, again, few studies being quoted here, there are many studies to show that fasting is very effective at increasing autophagy. Autophagy rarely happens to someone who is constantly eating all day, every day, because they're probably eating not the best foods, so they're getting a lot of insulin spikes, but they're not getting that reparative action. They're not giving their body a break to say, hey, you've nothing else to do here. Just go fix yourself. Just go take care of yourself. So then we get a buildup of damaged cells, damaged cells accumulate and can turn into cancerous cells or other diseased cells and contribute to more metabolic diseases. Whereas autophagy, you got that little sweeper guy that was going around your brain cleaning up the toxins and the chemical and mercury and aluminium and all buildup. Now he's coming through the rest of your body and he's sweeping out all these damaged cells, so you're not getting a buildup. So cancer cells, we produce them every day, but if you have a strong resilient body and a strong immune system, you're constantly getting rid of them. But if you don't, they build up and they build up and they just get bigger and bigger, and before you know it, you have a tumor, and nobody wants that. Okay, so that's autophagy. And then mitochondrial health, and then we know what it does to our hormones. We know what it does to inflammation. If we can manage inflammation, we can also help bring down estrogen too. And oh, I also wanted to show that there was another study, and I believe I have a post scheduled on this soon, that shows how coffee, high-grade organic black coffee, increases the action of autophagy again when fasting, and also increases insulin sensitivity when fasting. Black coffee. I know not everyone drinks coffee and some people are sensitive and some are not. For those of you that are though, spend the extra few bucks and get an organic, really good coffee. And man, get used to drinking it black if health is a main priority to you. So fasting, as we've seen in the long run, has many benefits, and we're using it for health first, and we are using it for resensitizing hormones and bringing down insulin and resensitizing your satisfying or your satiety hormones, so our hunger hormones. We're teaching our body how to turn on and on its fat burning system. So we're signaling to our body when we want which way our PPAR receptors are to go. This way to burn sugar and store fat, or this way to burn fat and burn fat. So I'm going to leave it at that because it'll get overwhelming and I've talked for long enough. I hope you found that super informative and now you understand why I'm teaching you or why I've recommended that you fast, and the importance, the absolute importance of skipping some food now and then. You don't have to eat all the time. It's okay. You're not going to die if you don't eat for a day. You're not going to lose muscle. You will be fine. But you will come back better and more resilient. So bear that in mind and feel free to reach out to me and ask me any questions if you need to. Okay, everyone, take care. Bye.